Hello, this is Mike, the Hammer Tacket. Long time no see on this channel, huh? I'm gonna start doing more videos here. I'm gonna do these more about just regular politics. Like I got one about Ron Paul coming later, so yeah, get ready for that one. And I haven't shaved in a few days. I'm gonna see if my baby likes it. So if she likes it, I might keep it. If not, yeah. Anyway, I got a few recommendations for everybody on this new issue of The Nation. Target Yemen. America's Youth Uprising and Cutting Government in Michigan. Those are some Israel's new left goes online. Those are some good topics in the New Nation. Some books. If I've recommended them before, hey, I'm going to recommend them again. Chomsky, Profit Over People. This examines our nature obsession with capitalism and how profit is put, of course, before the public. Of course, the great Ha Jun-chang, who's becoming like my favorite author besides Naomi Klein and Noam Chomsky. This is about the crap myth of free trade and its impact on the world economy. I've read both those. Now, I haven't read this one fully yet because it's a behemoth, but Karl Marx, Capital, Volume 1. The great Karl Marx examines why private property in this should be abolished. He's for public ownership, of course, and phasing out government, which is what communism is really all about. Anybody who says that communism is about state control, well, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, do they? Anyway, this video, I've been watching some brilliant videos. This is a video response to Franks' video, where he basically says, piss off anarcho-capitalist. Because in the video he says that there is no such thing as a society without enforced laws. Franks, you're absolutely right. I could not agree more with that point. What you get right is that no matter what society you live in, whether you live in a communist society, whether you live in a socialist society, whether you live in a capitalist society, libertarian society, liberal, conservative, no matter what kind of society, economic or political ideology you believe in, there's going to be force. Because I'm glad you asked that. They want free market, right? And in a free market, you're supposed to have no corporations and no government involvement. Excuse me, in a real free market. Now, how are you going to get that voluntarily? Are you going to just sit there? Is every right-wing reactionary just going to tell me? A guy kept trying to tell me on Twitter that I was for violent force, which I never even once hinted at it. He just tried to twist my words around. It kept going back and forth between me and him for about a month, and he finally just threw his hands up. But he tried twisting my words around on me, saying that I was for violent force. And I'm like, well, if anyone's ever read The Shock Doctrine, which I'm going to put all 6 video series that my lovable, wonderful friend, Vampirus on the Prowl Q, who I think, Hannibal, thank you for mentioning me in your video, but you forgot to mention her, that she is basically the best at getting these people. I mean, man, she pisses them off so much. I mean, they really hate her. You think they hate me? They hate her even worse than they hate me. And that's saying a lot. And her, I'm going to put the Shock Doctrine documentary below. In September 11th, 1973, with the help of Richard Nixon and people who worked for Richard Nixon, including Milton Friedman. Yes, that Milton Friedman. Augusto Pinochet fired on the Chile president Allende because he was very popular. He was a Marxist, kind of a movement towards Marxism, and they fired on. They made all this crap up to be afraid of him, and they blew his complex up and killed him. And anybody who was a Marxist, a communist, or a socialist was rounded up and either put in a detention camp or they were killed. Thousands upon thousands of people were killed so that Pinochet could get rid of price control, deregulate banks, and privatize a lot of the industries. Now, before all you anarcho-capitalists and right-wing reactionaries start screaming, "Death, net, free market," it will never exist. But it's the closest that has been to free market has been Chile. Hell, even according to your little god, the Nolian chart website, Pinochet was named the king of the free market. So you guys always talk about, we do what people like, socialists like Hitler. Hitler was not a socialist, he was a fascist. In order to be a socialist, you have to distribute the wealth to the poor. It has to be an even distribution. Hitler did not do that. The poor got poorer, the rich got richer. He was more of a fascist capitalist, more likely. Anyway, once again, who hurt the most? Who went into poverty the most? The poverty level in Chile exploded after what Pinochet did. And Friedman consulted him on it, helped him with it, visited him. Don't believe me? Just wait till you watch the documentary and you see the picture where you see Friedman with Pinochet. The king of the free choice, freedom choice. Milton Friedman helped a murdering dictator because he thought it was just for the market. That the market would take care of everything. That it would balance itself out somehow. Wave a magic wand and shit will fly from the air and heal everything. Well, it didn't happen. And now they may not recover and get over their debt until 2050. And Chile has the second highest income gap in the world, even bigger than the United States. So that's the Milton Friedman Chicago Boys experiment. Force. Violent force was used. But let's just get to where it's not violent force. You're still using force. I've asked this before, and I want libertarians, right-wing reactionists and stuff to answer me. I'm challenging you. Every one of you that stand for this anarcho-capitalist bullshit or right-wing reactionary shit, I'm challenging you to tell me, how are you going to get corporations to voluntarily give up their power? Do you honestly think, oh, the free market's fine, well, we're going to give it up. Hands up, we're gone. We surrender. You're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about, and I will say this. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what I'm talking about. I've studied politics. I've took classes in this stuff. I just may go back to college and finish my degree, so that way I can say I got a degree in economics and stuff like that. So then I'll really be able to make your guys' life a living hell. But the fact is, I have taken classes on this stuff. I admit, when I first started, I was out of my training and everything, but I got back into it thanks to people like Franks and Zavana and Azov, and especially Vampires on the Prowl Q, Lissa. Again, I'm going to put the links to these channels below. For Hannibal Victoria, for Franks, for Zavana, for Vampirus and Shannon. These, and my brother Sean, these are the best, and Rudstead. These are the best channels. And the Young Historian, I got to put his channel on there because I haven't done a video in a while, but man, is he a great, and Azov. I'm going to put all these channels because these are the best at debunking libertarian, right-wing reactionary bullshit out there. So I'm challenging all of you. How are you going to get your free market dream without using force? I want to hear it. You're going to have to, are you going to sit there and talk to the corporations? Are they going to be like, oh, well, now that we've heard about the free market, which actually gives the individual more choice, and you guys want to make more competition, we'll be more than happy to break up our monopoly. Yeah, I'd like to see how that one goes over. Do you think the drug lords are going to give up their freedom to sell illegal drugs without being taxed? If you make drugs legal, you're going to tax them then. Even if it's at a low rate like you like. Do you think they're going to give that up? What are you going to do? You're imposing your will on others. Whether you like to admit it or not, you're imposing your will. And you know what? I usually don't say that on this channel. But you know that's the god dang truth.